Have another beer, buddy.
Chatty chat chat chat. I think that they probably said that being shorter is advantageous.
Well, they need to teach me then. There you go. So we had to poke a little fun at him. Call you Ginger Swag.
Yeah. If you weren't bowlers, what would you have liked to have done instead? Anything else. Literally anything else.
That's a great answer.
The horse is so dead that it's on some kid's school project in a landfill already.
And there you have it. No. We'll talk in the go.
Terrible idea.
What's up?
What is going on?
Welcome back to the Breakdown Pair. Episode number 56, it looks like.
Yep.
Number 56.
I'm a little under the weather tonight, so.
Yeah, you have to bear with him this week. He's being a trooper and still going.
Yeah.
I even gave him the option if he wanted to skip a week too. But nope, the show must go on.
Because sitting here and talking for a couple hours and drinking whiskey is going to be strenuous. So.
Yeah, that's a lot of work. I just know sometimes when like I said to you earlier, when I get like that, like a head cold and whatnot, I don't want to do anything but just sit there and go to sleep. But I'm also a giant wuss too, so.
Yeah, well, I am too. I've been taking it slow. Well, we haven't really been taking it slow the last couple of days, but I did work from home today. So,
don't you usually work from home on Mondays? No.
No, I used to.
That's right.
Days to Tuesdays because we had intended to be going to trivia on Tuesday nights, and we've made it like twice since I switched my date 6 months ago. So
I am totally down to do some trivia once season ends up. It's at least that Tuesday night league. If you don't make the playoffs, I was looking the other day. I think there's only like 8 or 9 weeks left, which is crazy to think. That sounds like a lot, but it really isn't.
Yeah. No, it's really. No, we're already into February, and
I'm just ready to get through the cold weather. It's nice outside today in our area, but I'm just ready for some warm air and barbecue weather. And I mean, not afraid to get out and barbecue in 25 degrees, but I'd much rather be 75, 80 degrees.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just ready for it to not be like bitter cold. Like I'm okay if it's cold, but not like what we've had. It's just been not fun.
Somebody said in the chat, no comments. What?
Yeah, no comment. Yeah, I don't even know. What y'all can't even make fun of me for sounding like I got something stuck up my nose or something.
It does sound like your nose is like you're like pinching your nose.
Yeah.
Those are the worst.
Yeah.
As we're sitting here talking too, we're going to talk a little U.S. Open here coming up. I've actually got the U.S. Open Sunday show up here on the screen next to me. As you can see, we're remote today. I didn't want to get sick. No, we actually were planning on this anyways. So I think we're going to do every other week. I'm with you, and then the off week I'm at home. It just gives us a change up, and I can get some things done at home for a little bit before having to head out. So.
Yeah. Yep.
As everybody can see, the show did start at 6 tonight, and we will be going, I believe, permanently to 6 to 8. So, unless you've got something different, but 6 to 8 is not that bad. It's only another half hour. We usually go half hour over anyway.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah, Angel would prefer that it cuts off at like 8 o'clock. That way we can get the dog situated and get into bed at a decent time.
That's why it's probably a good idea to go ahead and add the first 30 minutes.
Yep. So hopefully we'll be wrapping up by 7:30ish then, and so we'll actually be off by
8 o'clock. Yeah, because we're gonna do some topics. We're gonna talk a little, like I said, a little U.S. Open. We're gonna talk just some bowling in general, and then usually like the last hour or so, like we did last week or 2 weeks ago, seemed to really work out where we just kind of played the Ask Us Anything game, and it seems to be a fun thing to do. So ask us anything, we'll ask you anything. So yeah.
So
go ahead.
I'm drinking the last of my Oak and Eden bourbon and vine. I like this stuff because it's got this oak stave in the barrel. It gives it a whole lot more woody, smoky, oaky flavor. So
I'm just drinking some basic cheap whiskey. It's early times. It's a good sipper. I really like it. So.
Oh yeah. I've got my Death Star ice ball in there.
Oh, that's cool.
So
I should have done something like that because I'm not going to go back up for ice. I got to go all the way upstairs to get it. So.
Yeah, that's why I went ahead and just finished the bottle. I'm like, well, the whole thing, I'm going to drink it slow enough that the whole thing's going to melt, and then I'm going to have some really stiff stuff.
That camera does make a difference, by the way. I can even notice it here.
Yeah.
You can really see everything in the back.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. Colors just pop more. It brings more of that ginger out in you a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just had to
Put your sunglasses on.
That's only when I'm in person.
Yeah.
I'm pretty exhausted. I'm not gonna lie. It's been a long weekend. I did a lot of bowling, so.
Yeah. You guys had I've had a long couple weeks, and then, we had the Veterans Tournament last weekend, like a week ago yesterday. Yes. And that was 15 games, and then we also filmed on Sunday. And then you've had like city tournament. Did you bowl with them guys on Saturday? City tournament?
We bowled all 9 because we were driving to Hayes, Kansas.
Yeah, so you had city tournament on Saturday, and then you drove 3.5 hours west to go bowl an all-day tournament. What time did you guys get home this morning or last night?
We actually left last night because we both so Trevor and Dylan and myself and Johnny actually got eliminated in the same round. So it kind of worked out. We actually got home, I want to say, around 10 o'clock. Last year, it was way worse.
That's still a long day, though, especially after, a drive, a 3 hour drive out there or whatever, and then you bowl all day, and then you got to drive home.
Yeah, it's kind of a kick in the nuts.
Yeah.
Not going to lie. But no, it was a successful day. We struck a lot. Lots of strikes. Little unfortunate because we were in a dogfight. We did get a bye, so that was good. We got bought in the Calcutta for $225, I think is what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny and I. So we ended up making some Calcutta money back because we actually made the cutoff of that for a payout. I can't remember what round we lost. We lost in the 3rd round of match play. So whatever place that would have been. But it was a good weekend overall. It sucks that we lost the one we did because we really thought we had a really good look. They just outstruck us. We lost the left lane in Baker, and it's unfortunate. Trevor and Dylan also lost in a close one, and we actually were going to bowl them the next round. We both moved on, and Johnny and I really wanted that smoke.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you, when we had the look that we had, it was just a hit away. Either the team that we bowled is either they get the hit or we don't. So I threw the ball really well, made spares, and we were about plus 200 going into match play, I think is what it was. So it was a good weekend. It was plus 180. I'm sorry, 180. 180 and change. So it was a good weekend. Felt good to be successful again after some rough times, and hopefully we can build on it. So
yeah, a few weekends in a row too, because you did well the weekend before that Veterans Tournament.
Yep.
And then
the weekend before I did well in that too.
Yeah. So and then we bowled well together.
Yes, we did. You and I put up 14.25 actually in doubles.
Yeah, that was. I can't remember what place that was. It was, I don't know, it was 6th or 7th or whatever. But I'll take it.
I'll take it. That's money, baby.
Yeah.
But you're starting to throw it good too. So there's really good positive things going at the start of 2023. Look out.
Yeah, everything's starting to click for both of us here. So that'll be nice. And then we've got Southwest in another month and a half in Wichita.
And we're going to need our striking shoes for that too.
Yeah.
But how's the Hayes? The drive back sucked.
Yeah.
The drive back is terrible. The ride up there is not terrible, but the drive back is definitely not fun.
Mm-hmm.
Trevor's grandpa went with us too, so that was entertaining. That guy can entertain you for days. So, yep, weekend's over. Time to move on to the next one. I'm bowling. I don't know if you're bowling this weekend or not, but I'm going to be bowling the Super Bowl Sunday doubles. So,
probably not.
They moved it to 6 games too, and it's starting at 9. So,
okay. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm gonna bowl with the hottest guy on bowling right now in our area is Brent Coleman.
Yeah, yeah,
It seems that way, man.
yeah.
So I got to scoop him up as a doubles partner while I can.
Mm-hmm.
So are you guys gonna make it up to North Rock for the PBA here in a couple weeks?
Yeah, well, I think we're gonna go watch qualifying on that Wednesday because that's going to be the largest amount of people there. Because then match play starts on Thursday, and so we figured we'd go see everybody while we could on that Wednesday, and then we don't miss league on Thursday or Friday, and so
cool. We're going to be in Branson, so I won't make it back in time. But we'll see. I'm on vacation that whole week, so if something changes and I get froggy, I might drive out there.
Yeah,
but we'll see. We shall see. I guess we got a topic we can get to here. We talk a little U.S. Open. I'm sure a lot of you watched the U.S. Open over the weekend. Congratulations to E.J. Tackett. Bowled phenomenal all week long. I mean, what that guy did on some of those patterns is just ungodly.
Yeah.
I'm serious. That first pattern that they put out day one was just brutal. Like there was no shape down lane at all. It's one of the craziest things I've ever seen. So guys are literally just kind of spinning it to the pocket, and it's not doing anything.
Yeah.
You see so many shots hit like a wet noodle. I didn't get to see a ton of Friday night. I don't remember why. I wasn't bowling, but I was doing something, watching a movie or something. I don't remember. But the bowling that he did this weekend was absolutely phenomenal. Shout out to Justin Knowles, too. That guy really bowled his butt off this weekend. I'm actually watching him right now here. Snodgrass is another name you got to see that a lot of people don't get to see.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts on the show overall?
I didn't get to watch anything up until the show.
Mm-hmm.
It's just been the last couple of weeks have been kind of crazy. We've got some extra stuff going on at work, and then just nonstop video stuff. And then we had the kind of the redo or the extra thing with the TNT, and then I changed the video format up a little bit, and that took a whole lot longer than I thought it was going to. And
yeah,
so it just hasn't been that's probably why I'm not feeling great, because it's just been literally between my day job and YouTube stuff, it's been 12 to 15 hours a day for like 2 solid weeks. I haven't done anything but eat, sleep, and work. And so I didn't actually catch any of the U.S. Open until the show. And the only reason I caught the show was because it was on at the bowling alley while we were filming again. So
bowlers watching bowling on TV in a bowling alley.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. So
you probably didn't even get to pay attention to it enough that you'd like, but
I did because Angel was the one that was bowling.
Yeah.
We had some more excitement with some cover stock finishes. So Angel filmed. So we're gonna go try it again next Sunday. But
Super Bowl Sunday.
Oh yeah, I guess. Well, yeah, I guess we can go film in the morning.
Yeah, they don't play till 5 Sunday night. Yeah, that's not going to affect anything.
Mm-hmm.
What a phenomenal match, though, that championship match was with Kyle Troop and EJ.
Mm-hmm. And the whole
show,
the whole show was like instant classic, because we didn't have any matches where somebody just fell apart. I don't think we had any. What was the low match, like 190 or 2-0 or something like that?
I think so. I'm watching. Like I said, I'm watching it right now. I'm telling you, I like Snodgrass's game a lot. I do. He's on right now.
Yeah, that's the first show. So they had finals part 1. They did it weird. So let's talk about the format.
Okay.
Because they changed it up a little bit. So they cut to the top 9, and then they had a 9-person step ladder. So they had seeds 5 through 9 have a step ladder on Saturday, and then the winner of that was the 5 seed for the full, I guess, regular show on Sunday. And it's interesting. It's a little different, but a lot of people have pointed out that that's like contradictory to the point of the U.S. Open, where it's a lot of games, a bunch of different patterns, eliminate random stuff as much as possible. And having 9 single games to end the tournament is like adding random elements, because anybody can beat anybody in a 1-game match.
Right. It's I didn't mind it. I kind of adds to the excitement a little bit. I think the Tournament of Champions is the one they're going nutty at, like a 17-player step ladder or something stupid like that. I get the 1-game excitement, but that far back in numbers to me still, I don't like the fact that I could lose in the match in the 17th spot and I'm done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What's crazy though is they still did all their match play. So they still did the 24 games of match play and then did the 9-man step ladder, which was kind of cool to see that. I will say that, but I get why they did it. It adds more excitement and they get 2 shows out of it. So, it's understandable. But I'm just a traditional kind of guy. I like the top 4, top 5, make step ladder and go from there. But what are your thoughts on it?
Oh, I think kind of what I just said, that I don't, the U.S. Open is kind of, again, it's supposed to be just a test of the whole entire tournament rather than, and I mean, if you get down to the last couple of matches, it's just the way that it has to shake out for bowling on TV. I do really like the eliminator format where you have, it'd have all 4, all 5 people bowl, and then the low score goes out, low score goes out, low score goes out, whatever else, until you have a winner, rather than the individual games where it's just like, if you have a bad couple frames after bowling, 50, 60 games, you have a bad couple frames at the U.S. Open at the wrong time, well, you didn't win. Or if, that's the other thing, is that match play, there's 24 games of it. And so everything has a chance to kind of balance itself out. You're going to catch somebody on a hot streak. You're going to have a bad game, whatever else. But if you're bowling consistently better than everybody else, you're going to absorb the few bad games or bad shots or whatever else. On TV, 1 shot could be it.
Yeah.
And so I don't like the kind of randomness, and especially when they have the whole 9-game thing. However, of course, it still depends on where you qualified too. EJ got the top seed because he came out on top after all the games of qualifying.
He earned it. He definitely earned it.
After all the games of qualifying and whatever else, and so he didn't have to bowl through that entire match. And it did give a couple extra people a chance to, realistically, the top 9 all bowled very well all week, and it does give them a chance to make something happen from a little bit further out than normal.
Yep.
But it just seemed the single game thing was probably not the way to.
I will agree with you on that, though. I do really like the eliminator style. I do. I don't know why, because I'm a traditional kind of guy, but I do like the eliminator style. Like you said, it's to me, I feel like it gives you more of a chance for air room. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So say if I'm bowling Belmo, and he obviously has the world, and I don't have nothing, well, that's still got 3 other guys that I can beat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I do like that format. I don't know if I don't see him ever do anything like that for majors, but hey, I've seen crazier things.
Yeah. I thought the U.S. Open was round robin match play till TV before this year. No, they have 4 days of qualifying on 4 different lane conditions, and they have squads A, B, and C, which is another interesting thing that I guess Stuart Williams was talking about. He said we need to be done with the whole squads thing.
Yeah, it needs to be one squad.
That adds a whole ton of randomness, and you wouldn't think so, but having actually been able to watch it, they're on the same pattern, A, B, and C squad, but the first squad of the day doesn't play anything like the last squad of the day.
It's because the lane machine runs it more and more and more.
Yeah, it gets the pattern memory gets more and more in the lane machine and on the lanes. And it's just insane to see people on the first squad of the day play the lanes completely different than the last squad of the day, and the scoring pace be completely different. And then you have that 4 times. There were, out of the top 24, I think I was looking at this, 11 of the top 24 were from like B squad or something.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
almost half. There was 3 squads, and theoretically, I mean, it's not always going to break down to where it's 8 out of A squad, 8 out of B squad, and 8 out of C squad, because the stuff is drawn randomly. But you wouldn't think that half of the field comes out of one squad. That seems a little interesting.
All the scores were in. It seemed to be that night squad. It's really, or I guess some of them were bad in the middle of the day, but they did still have, by the way, the match play, 24 games of match play.
Mm-hmm.
So they did the round robin, 30 bonus pins. They cut to the top 24 and did your 24 games of match play.
Oh, okay. Yeah. He said he was only talking. He was talking post qualifying. Yeah, that's basically what happens. They have the 32 games of qualifying. There's 24 games of round robin match play, and then it's the top 5. But this year they decided to do the top 9.
My my hand hurts just thinking about that.
Yeah.
I bowled a lot this weekend, and my hand hurts.
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine that much bowling in a week, and on stuff that's that hard.
Yeah. And then to have to perform on TV.
Yes.
At the end of it all.
Yes. And I believe that was a triple crown for old EJ, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yep.
So,
which is pretty cool. He's only the 9th bowler to do it.
Hey, that's something special. I mean, I don't care who you are. That's something special. I mean, if I had to pick one tournament I'd ever want to win in my life, it'd definitely be that one.
Yeah.
But I'm not bowling in it, so.
Yeah, that's.
But yes, I do agree with Stu Williams' statement on that. The squad integrity is not good, so they need to find a way to make that where they can do it in one squad.
Yeah, I'm not sure how you make that happen though, because you've got so many entrants. It's again the U.S. Open, so.
Which is not really open anymore either, by the way.
Yeah, it's not. It's kind of invite only, and that's something else that people got excited about was that Pete Weber wasn't invited to the tournament, but Pete's kind of mostly retired from the regular tour. Plus, they only invite. So if you've won a U.S. Open in the last 10 years, you automatically get invited, no matter how old you are.
Yep.
But his last win was 2012. And so he didn't get, I mean, this is the 11th anniversary, so he didn't get invited, and they didn't have any commissioner exemption or whatever else. So he would have had to bowl the PTQ, and he decided not to. And
I don't think he would have bowled anyways, to be honest with you.
No, I really don't think so either. People got kind of fried out about it, but
I think a lot of it's because they gave Mookie Betts a commissioner's exemption or whatever it is and whatnot. I mean, Mookie didn't bowl terrible, but
no,
I don't think it's bad for bowling though to have a guy like that.
It's really not. People, as much as the thing that I've found is that the people that say that they want to save bowling the most are the ones that do the most damage to it.
You're not wrong.
Like, it just doesn't make any sense. You can see somebody that says, I want to return integrity to the game and I want to save it and whatever else. And those people are the ones that are running it into the ground the fastest.
But they don't realize it. And that's what's annoying about it.
Yeah.
Is everybody from the outside can see it, but I mean, you hit it spot on. It's very true. It is very true because everybody's so negative on everything. If one guy gets something, they don't get it, et cetera, et cetera. It's dumb. But,
yeah, because I mean, somebody like Mookie is a gateway for people who haven't seen bowling, who weren't interested in it, whatever else, to maybe check in and see. It's like, okay, well, there's a professional baseball player at the bowling U.S. Open. Let's check this out and see how this goes. And they might
not only a professional baseball player, he's one of the best in the business.
Yeah,
he's a former MVP.
Mm-hmm.
So Mookie's, I think he's on Storm staff too, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
I believe he is. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he is. But I understand the gripe of not wanting to give up a commission or a free spot to a guy like that. But at the same time, I think it's awesome. I mean, imagine there being a fan watching too in person, like, oh my gosh, that's Mookie Betts.
Yeah.
You not only get to meet him as a bowler, but you also get to meet him as a ball player. It's awesome. It's great for the sport, and that's how you help grow it, is by getting guys like that into it. Because kids say, "Hey, Mookie bets bowls. Maybe I should start bowling, Dad or
Yeah.
Mom." It's amazing. So I see it both ways, though. I really do.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, they say, well, Mookie's taking up a spot that some other better bowler could have had, and then you look at the qualifying results, and like half of those people probably shouldn't have been there. But I mean, you got to go find out somehow. I mean, that's another thing that gets me about, people complain about, you bowling on house shots and soft conditions and whatever else. But then as soon as you show up to bowl on something tough, it's like, oh, wow, you think you're good enough to be here?
Yeah.
It's like, well, no, not necessarily. I want to give it a shot and find out.
How else am I going to find out?
I mean, yeah. I mean, what else are you going to do? It's not like you just know all of a sudden. It's like, hey, I think I'm good enough to be a pro bowler now, so I'm just going to go win some tournaments. It's like, well, gosh, I like to go try. I'd like to go see where I'm at.
Yep.
And you got to work that up for a couple of years too. So
that's one of the worst things bowlers are about is they see a guy go bowl an event like you just said, exactly like you just said. Oh, do you see such and such is bowling this? Apparently he thinks he's really good now, or she's really good now. Stuff like that. It's terrible. It really is. Who cares? Is it your money?
Or it's like when you see people that are out of shape, working out or going running, and people make fun of them for that. It's like, well, they're trying to get it. How else are they going to do it?
Yeah.
You want to make fun of people for being out of shape or whatever, and then as soon as they try to get in shape, then you're making fun of them for it. So it's like it just doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't make any sense. It's life in general. People just always have something they got to say. We're not targeting anybody specifically. I promise. It's just overall in general. It really is. So anyway, congratulations, DJ Tackett, on a Triple Crown and U.S. Open win. No, you won't see this, but he bowled really good this weekend. You can do nothing but tip your cap, whether you like EJ or you don't. So
yeah, and he had the everybody's dream. You get up and you need a strike.
Yep.
You need a strike to win, and he got the strike, and he threw it great. And he even made a little adjustment too. That championship match is very interesting to go back and watch, to see them leave the things that they did, and then both bowlers made the same adjustments on those same lanes every single shot, because they had the one where Kyle came up light on the left lane and then he sent a messenger. The next time EJ came up, he hit light and left a messenger, and then I think that they both made the same adjustment the next time, and either both wrapped a 10 or both kicked the 10 or something like that. Yeah. And then EJ in the first ball of the 10th, the one that he needed, he had just left a wrap 10. The ball just went just a little long the previous frame, and he caught it just a little bit more or kept it a little bit tighter or something. It's really interesting. I'll have to go back and watch to see exactly how it progressed. But yeah, it was really interesting to see that they both made the adjustments they needed to make. And you can say that it came down to Kyle missing that spare in the first frame, but that's one of those things when somebody says, "Oh yeah, I shot 290, I should have shot 300." It's like, well, there's no pressure. If you miss in the first frame, you're not shooting at 300. 290 is a big game, and still going to get. You're still, hey, this is a pretty big game. I shot 290 a couple weeks ago, but I mean, it's like, well, it's just a big game. Once you get used to shooting stuff, it's kind of like 240, 250, 260, 270. It kind of all runs together. If it's not like it's 300, or it's just a really good game.
Yep.
And at that point, it's like 240, 250, I'll take it, whatever. But you're not up in the 10th frame with the front nine. You didn't almost shoot 300.
Well, Kyle missing that spare in the first, it was the first frame, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was the first frame.
Yeah, him missing that spare though plays into the story of that match.
Yeah,
it really does. So
well, because EJ gives it right back to him the next frame, because he just threw it out the window and took the 3-pin out, and so they're basically back at dead even. And so, I mean, it was just pretty well dead even the entire match. I think the last, 7th, 8th, and 9th frames were all even identical scores. They had the same max pretty well the entire time.
Yeah, it was a great tournament. Great show overall. The guy, two-minute guy, crossed with Brad during the qualifying. Kai, I can't pronounce his name. You know what I'm talking about? The guy that was the 2 seed, I believe, is what he was. Starts with a K.
Chris Kelso?
No, the semifinal match yesterday.
Oh, Tomas Keiko or Keiko.
Keiko, yeah, however you say that. He bowled really well too.
Yeah, and he's got kind of a quirky, different game, but
he does.
All you got to do is make the shots.
The way he tucks his elbow at the very as he goes in like that first step or whatever, it's weird. He's like telling himself, "Get inside of it, get inside of it."
Yeah,
but I had never really seen him before, and he bowled really phenomenal too. So it was a great show all in all. I wish I could have actually sat down and listened to it and watched it, but then again, I'd have to listen to Randy Peterson. So I think I'm okay just watching it on mute.
Yeah, that's one thing we didn't have to listen to, I'm pretty sure.
That's good. That is the nice thing. Rob Stone doesn't bother me. We've talked about this before. I like Rob Stone. I always have liked Rob Stone. It took him a little bit to get used to the bowling game, but he's really embraced it and really dug in and learned quite a bit in the few years that he's done it. It's been longer than a few years now, I guess. I don't remember when he started.
Yeah.
It's been a while, hasn't it now?
Yeah, 5, 6, 7 years anyway.
So yeah.
It just goes pretty fast.
He could have kept bringing his soccer lingo and doing his thing and just showing up collecting a paycheck. It's bowling. Come on now, right? But no, he's really embraced the fans. And like when Anthony Nair made that 7-10 last year, the way he got excited for that and whatnot, that's awesome though. So
yeah,
I do like Rob Stone. What else did we have topic wise? I think the main topic was the U.S. Open, right?
Yeah, let me pull up the step ladder. Just talk about the games.
Yep, I've got the Simonson Troop matchup on right now.
Yep, that was a good one.
I actually really like that jersey that Kyle's wearing. That's pretty slick. It was cool to see our Coolwick family on there this week. Awesome to see Coolwick logos on the show.
Yeah.
So that was definitely different than having to see H5G all the time everywhere. Granted, I know we saw it Saturday because the show's Saturday, Sunday, but it's just cool to see our logo on there. The 19 era ball seemed to be making a statement. And that was an idol that Simo was throwing, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yep.
Somebody said something here about a lot of the guys throwing
discontinued stuff.
Yeah. What was Kyle? It was UC2.
Kyle threw several different things. He was throwing a pitch black, and it looked like an older pitch black too. I don't think that USBC didn't do the same thing with the urethane balls that the PBA did. So they were still allowed to use stuff older than August 2022. But Troop used that. He used a Fate, and then I think he used a UC2. Simo used an Idol.
Yeah, it was a OG Idol, and then was it a Zen U that he threw in the 10th frame? I think it was a Zen U.
I can't remember.
I think Brian's right, but I was also trying to watch it from distance.
Well, and I was going to say I didn't get to see the Kyle Troop and Richie Teese match, but nobody got to see that match because Fox gonna Fox.
Yep.
So they had a women's college basketball game go long, and so they apparently moved it to another channel, and then that didn't really pan out, and so they just didn't turn the show on until the very end of the first game. So nobody got to see Richie and Kyle. We got to see Kyle make a 10-pin or something to lock it up, but he beat Richie Teese 207 to 192 in the first game. And then the next game against Simo, it was a whole lot closer until Simo had like a big 4 or something in the 9th frame or something. We're just right there at the end. It was really close the whole way. And then Simo left a big split, and that was kind of over.
The crowd annoying for anybody else. Yeah, I didn't get to hear the show, so I heard.
I heard some stuff from the crowd. There
Oh,
was some
Alpha Crux for Simo. They're like, it wasn't Alpha Crux. I do remember seeing that. Sorry. Yeah, there was. I heard some stuff about the crowd. Go ahead.
Yeah, apparently some guys. There was some drunk guy that was like every time Richie Teese or Kaiko was up there, he'd be like he was chanting like USA, USA, and then he was rubbing it into Simo when he left a split or something like that. He was just chanting all kinds of nonsense.
Surprised they didn't remove him. But whatever.
Yeah, I don't know.
Odd to see Thomas Larson using the TNT for spares.
It rolls very early and goes very straight if you want it to. So
sounds like a forged flare.
After that huge win for the South Carolina Lady Gamecocks over the Lady Huskies of Connecticut.
Hey, mad respect, all right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised they didn't actually tell the PBA or the PBA or USBC didn't make the call to wait until they went live.
Yeah.
Granted, it's not like they were on some strict start time that I can think of, but maybe they were. I don't know. But it was a good show. I know that much. Yeah, Troop Simonson match on still. They just got back from commercial.
And then the next match, Troop and Keiko, I don't know. But they both had carry issues. I think Thomas or Tomas left a couple wrap 10s, drive-by 9s, whatever else. Kyle Troop also left a 7-9.
Yep. Oh, that 7-9 was brutal too.
Yeah.
I did see that. That was that was a kick.
Yeah.
And then you know what?
I don't
know if I've ever seen one on TV before.
Yeah, I don't know. It was he got it in a little bit, or he threw a little bit slow, or whatever else. And
yeah,
I thought he should have stayed with the Fate, but I was talking to James about this yesterday. It's like, well, sometimes they're the ones bowling. They see something and they try something else, and as soon as the armchair quarterbacks figure it out at home, well, they're figuring it out on the screen there too. It's one of those things where it's like, well, the UC2 is a little cleaner, a little bit more responsive. He might have gone to it before the lanes were ready for it, but he might have felt something with the Fate that it was either a little too early or it wasn't going to get back if he got it wide a little bit. And so he just felt a little bit more comfortable with the UC2 and was willing to take the trade-off of the little bit of stability of the Fate versus the, more recovery, I guess, of the UC2.
Yeah. Yeah, that's trying to see what ball. That's a pitch black. He
did. And we were talking about that too, because we thought, okay, well, the way that pattern's built, it kind of tapered in, and then at like 30 feet, they started it, they oiled everything, and then kind of tapered it back in again. Well, it was kind of like a double Christmas tree looking thing.
Yep. Man, that red oil is kind of hard on the eyes.
Yeah. I like the red oil because you can see the pattern better.
Oh, you can.
At the same time, I don't know. I don't know if it's distracting, or I haven't ever talked to anybody that's bowled on it, but they don't seem to mind it.
Brad told me that when they bowl on the blue stuff, the blue oil always plays tighter. And it's played all week. I don't know if it's thicker or what, but he says it's always seemed to be tighter on Sunday or show day, whatever day it is, when they're using the blue oil.
Yeah. Huh. I could buy that.
The red? I have no idea. I've never talked to him on the red, even though he's made a show on the red stuff, the Masters. I haven't talked to him about it. That was last year's Master show, I believe, something like that. But he's the only one I know I can talk to firsthand that can give you firsthand experience. So this match is about to finish up. Troop is about to 7-9 here in a minute, I think.
Yeah.
I saw that and was like, couldn't believe it. It was so brutal. It was on the right lane too, I think. But oh well. Not trying to sit here and watch bowling, talk bowling with you.
Yeah.
And then did you do the we kind of recapped the championship match already, so we've kind of covered it. We can kind of go back and forth on it, but
Yeah, they went back and forth. So they each had, Kyle missed the spare, and you can say what you want to about missing spares, but EJ's first shot in the second frame was so far out the window that it's about like missing a spare. I mean, it was so far off that if he was shooting at a spare, he would have missed it. So they each had their one shot that wasn't great, but then they
both made shots when they had to. That's for dang sure.
Yeah.
This chair keeps sinking. Did the colored oil bring any new people? That was the driving force behind it. I haven't heard anything. I mean, I know why they do it. It's for the recreational bowler that doesn't bowl much and doesn't know much. Can see what the lane pattern looks like. I understand that, but I don't think so. I don't know firsthand though.
But yeah, they've got to have a concept of oil patterns in the first place. And if they don't know what a normal oil pattern looks like, how are they really going to tell what's different about what's on the lane and what they normally get? So
that red stuff looks thick, though. That's the other thing I thought about that the other day when I saw is how thick the red looked. It's just, I don't know. Maybe it's just the TV that I'm on, but that red oil looks so bright. It looks like somebody just got blood all over the lanes.
Yeah.
Blood red.
Like strawberry syrup or something.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Let me another drink here real quick. Just a little bit. Anyway, we're still about 20 minutes out from our last hour, so I guess we can. It's up to you if we can go into ask us anything or whatever you want to do.
We've been kind of ignoring the chat the whole time, so
you mean we actually stayed on topic?
Yeah, I will pull this over.
Oh, eternity.
Yep, this is Angel's Eternity. Mine has to take a bath. So I got most of the review written today, and so I should be able to put it together tomorrow and have it up tomorrow. But it's kind of it's altered reality-ish. It's not as early, it's not quite as strong, and it's not as quick, but this is definitely the closest thing that you're going to get to an altered reality if you want that replacement. So it does. I think it's even a little bit improved, because the one thing about the altered reality, it was really strong, it was really quick, but it was also kind of forward too. So it would make you open your angles up to get it down the lane.
Yeah.
Then it would kind of jerk stop on you sometimes. This has a lower intermediate differential, and so it doesn't lock up or kind of torque so hard down lane, so it blends it a lot more, so it gives you the altered reality shape but more forgiveness. It doesn't, again, it's not quite as sharp on the back end, so it doesn't make you open your angles up as far, and then it doesn't lock up or go super forward down lane. So if anything, this is an improved altered reality. It's kind of the same thing, I think, with like the Idle Cosmos versus the IQ Tornado Pearl. We actually got, I sourced a couple of those after they got discontinued, because I thought, well, they're just not going to have anything else like this coming out. And then we got the Cosmos, and the Cosmos is just straight up a better version. It does all the same things. The Cosmos doesn't, do the IQ thing where sometimes it just gets flat. Yeah. The Cosmos doesn't really do that. It's got the extra differential to help it out in that department. So yeah.
It looks pretty good. I will say that. Every one of them I've seen thrown so far look pretty dang good.
Yep.
So, get back in. Did you have more to say about your review on that? When did you say the review was coming?
Not really. I'm hoping to have it up tomorrow. I don't know. It depends on when I can talk. Because if I can't talk, then
no, I don't.
I'm gonna have to. It might be Wednesday. I don't know. I'm hoping to have it up tomorrow, but it's looking like it'll probably be Wednesday. Unfortunately,
that would be miserable trying to do that review. I completely get that.
Yeah, and then I've got some other stuff. I got some footage for the Idol Pro versus the TNT that I'm going to do, and then I got the TNT and the Axiom have virtually the same core, but the Axiom cover is quite a bit stronger, so I was going to do that comparison as well. So I do have a few videos in the works. I just need to be able to work on them and actually get them done. And with this new format that I'm doing, they do take a little bit longer to get out there. So we'll see what I get around to. So
Sweet. We'll look forward to seeing that. Questions in the chat. We'll get to you. I promise.
Yeah, let's go ahead.
We're going from 6 to 8 tonight, so I guess this last hour and 15 minutes, you can feel free to hit us up with your questions.
Yep.
All things. So I'll let you get in there and start highlighting which questions you want, or you see that is. I hate this other laptop I'm using.
Yeah.
Okay. There we go.
My Alter never looked like it was going to get the 10 out, but it did. I never struck so much driving through the 9. Yeah, that's it. It was a more forward kind of ball motion. So, like a cleaner exotic, Jim, yeah, kind of, because the exotic is kind of smoother and rounder, but this is like a solid step down. This is a couple feet longer, definitely easier down the lane. About the same shape on the back end. It's just weaker overall. It's probably 2-3 boards weaker than the exotic. Definitely a few feet longer. So here's a good one. What's the biggest difference on tougher patterns? And the other follow-up question that he asked is, what is tough, or what makes it tough? It's basically that tougher patterns are most of the easiest way to make something tougher is just make it flatter. So they put more oil on the outside part of the lane, and they take away oil on the middle part of the lane. So if you miss out, the ball's not going to recover. If you miss in, the ball's going to take off and hook. Then they do all kinds of other things, like playing with lengths, different oil volumes to the length of the pattern. Sometimes they'll have really long but dry ones, or they'll have really short and wet ones. And it just all kinds of different things can be done to make the oil pattern tougher. And sometimes what's tougher for one person isn't really that tough for somebody else, because everybody's got different games. So there's just so many different things that they can do to make them tough. And even just the different amounts of forward oil versus reverse oil, whether they lay the oil down going while the machine's going forward, or they oil it while the machine's coming backwards.
Yep.
The grain of the oil also makes a difference too. And it's interesting stuff, but
correct me if I'm wrong. Doesn't Brunswick machines, I could be wrong, doesn't Brunswick machines actually only oil going backwards?
Only oil going forward.
Forward, that's right. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
forward,
the Brunswick machines, I do remember that now. They only oil going one direction.
Yep. So they strip and oil at the same time then?
Yeah. That's normally how it happens. The front part of the machine strips and the back part oils.
Gotcha. Okay.
So
I guess I never paid attention. I knew that one of them, I didn't think it was Kegel, but I knew that one of them only oiled a certain direction. I didn't know if it was down or backwards. So
yeah.
Okay.
How often did you detox bowling balls or resurface? This is kind of just basically whenever they need it. If you notice your ball isn't hooking quite as strong, it's getting kind of lazy, whatever else, that's usually a sign to, and most of the time they just need an oil extraction, or they need a detox. They don't necessarily need a resurface unless they get really beat up or something like that. If you notice that there's a bunch of war wounds on the outside of the ball, then yeah, maybe at that point it's time to resurface or refresh the cover a little bit. But most of the time they'll need a detox more often than they'll need like a full resurface, and even just hitting it with a pad every once in a while, keeping it clean, getting it detoxed every once in a while whenever it gets lazy. Because if you take it to get detox and it doesn't need it, no oil is going to come out, and there's no real point in doing it. So it's just keep an eye on the ball reaction, and whenever you see it start to suffer, that's kind of when it needs it.
I'm not a huge fan of resurfacing anyways, but I definitely would detox over resurface unless I just absolutely have to do it.
Yeah, there were several times. Yeah, there were several times where I would, if I used the ball for a while, I would detox it several times before I would resurface it or need to resurface it.
Yep. Big reason I've never. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say we don't really bowl anywhere that beats stuff up that much. Stuff gets dirty, but as long as you keep the stuff clean and keep the oil sucked out of it, then we don't really have to deal with stuff that beats up our equipment.
Big reason I don't do resurfacing is because every time I've resurfaced the bowling ball, it completely changes the ball for me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. There's just something about it. Granted, I know I can get it back to its surface, but it just never plays the same again.
Yeah, well, and this is why I recommend to people to change the ball out of the box, because you'll never be able to get it back to factory surface. And additionally, they go through so many, they go through so many bowling balls. They produce so many bowling balls a day, hundreds and hundreds of them, that they use the pads, the surfacing pads, for a certain amount of bowling balls. And factory surface is going to be close. But sometimes the ball that you get might be the first ball on that brand new set of finishing pads. And sometimes the ball that you get might be the last ball on the set of an old or used set of pads. And so at the factory, there's always going to be some kind of inconsistency. You're never going to know exactly. Just because it says 2,000 on the box doesn't mean you're going to get 2,000. You might get like 1,000. Like we kind of joked around with like the 4K fast thing. Sometimes they look like they were 2K fast, and they might have just been on new pads. And I imagine that they probably, if something comes out of the box at 3,000, I imagine that they start with like a new set of 2,000 pads or something, and just use those so that they can use them longer. Because if you start with 3,000 pads, they're not going to last very long. It's going to be 3,000, and then I don't know what kind of. I'm sure they use some pretty heavy duty stuff, but everything's going to wear out after a while. And just because it says, again, 2,000 on the box doesn't mean that that's exactly what every single one of them comes at. But if you resurface your stuff before you even throw it, then you know exactly where you're starting from, and then you can get it back there again. If you do happen to like the ball out of the box, and you ever have to resurface it for any reason, you're not going to be able to get it back to exactly what the factory surface was. You can get it close, but you're not ever going to be able to get all the way back there.
Yup. Agreed. A bunch of questions in here.
Yep.
Good.
Oh,
I like it. I like it.
Yep. Some stuff about the Altered and Eternity. Love the Altered. Eternity looks great. Yep. James answered some of the questions.
Yes. Saw that.
Do you agree that the Eternity is more akin to a volatility torque than an altered reality? The numbers on paper, it is a volatility torque with different colors. I didn't ever throw a torque, so you'd have to ask Casey Murphy. Casey, big fan of the volatility torque, and so he would know. I might have to ask him myself.
He's probably still got a bunch of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wouldn't shock me anyway. I never threw a volatility torque either, so I don't really know. Didn't throw an altered either because I was with Motive, so didn't have the opportunity. And as I was getting ready to grab one, that's when they went bye-bye.
Yeah. Did Angel crack the surface on her Eternity before rolling that monster set? Sorry if I missed it. Yes. She likes the React-A-Scuff finish. And so we take it down to 1,000 on the resurfacing machine, and then I take it up to the spinner and finish it with React-A-Scuff. And so the factory shine just goes a little bit too long and it's too jerky for it. And that's nothing new anyway. I mean, most people will take the factory shine off the ball. They'll just hit it with a pad to knock the shine off to make it a little bit more consistent, help it break in a little bit faster.
Yep.
So yeah, she hit it with, I don't know if you can.
Trying to see if
It's
kind of, yeah,
see the
you can
sheen.
probably try.
It's not exactly shiny. You can see that there's kind of a sheen to it. So yeah,
You can definitely tell that it's not the shine there.
we did change the surface. And again, that's a fairly normal thing for people to do too. So
I'm the same way. I'll never throw anything shiny. I usually just take a straight reactive scuff to it, or 3,000 or 4,000 pad. To me, 4 doesn't really do anything. But
yep.
Do not like shiny stuff.
James is helping out with these, but does an older lane surface make it harder to play a flat pattern? And James said, no, if anything, I'd rather bowl on a flat pattern on a beat up surface with a defined track area. It's either easier to develop something to throw the ball at. And that's true. If you have a track area on, and that's why sometimes people walk into a bowling alley and they'll want to practice on something and they'll put the pattern down and then people, well, that's not the pattern. It doesn't play like the pattern. It's like, well, you're in a different house. If you're, obviously we can't say Summit anymore. They've got new lanes, but it used to be, it's like, yeah, you can bowl on something at Summit versus bowling on it at Olathe. Totally different. Maybe not so much anymore, but
probably the oldest surface in Kansas City now is probably KC Bowl. I think. I could be wrong on that, but KC Bowl surface is pretty dang old.
Yeah, they do have older HPLs if I remember right.
And everything you throw there is on fire. Like it hooks a lot. A lot.
Yep.
Especially in the summer.
You say mill of oil a lot. Does that mean it's harder to break the lane down? It's just mils is short for milliliters, so it's just the actual amount of oil that goes on the lane. So, like if there's like chromium that we bowl on for the reviews and stuff, 25.5 mils, so it's 25.5 milliliters of oil that's spread out across the entire lane. It's really not a very large amount of oil, but it doesn't take a whole lot to keep a ball from hooking. So it's...
What was that pattern we bowled on? And James will probably know better than me or remember it for you. The one we did at Royal Crest where I don't remember what the ratio was, but it was just silly. Everything just went straight sideways. Oh my gosh, I can't remember. It was like 25 to...
Yeah, it was like 25 to 1 or something.
20, that's what it was. 25 to 1. Yeah, that was disgusting. I think I'll just go ahead and pass on 25 to 1 next time I see that.
Yeah. No, I pass on grass all the time.
Oh, shoot. Oh, that's great. James answered that KC Bowl is dirtier than Summit on the old panels. It's Gen 1 Pro Lane.
Woo!
Yeah, I don't remember what the name of that pattern was, James, but that pattern sucked. That was everything hooks so quick, so early. Anyway, I'll let you catch back up on comments here.
Yeah, are you recommending that Pro Shop put a meter on the ball out of the box? I don't exactly know what that means, but just change the surface, basically. I would say just going ahead and again, we have had some issues here lately where stuff just, I don't know what the thing is, but it doesn't seem to absorb any oil. The cover just kind of gets slick and almost waxy like a urethane ball. You try to wipe the oil off, and urethane doesn't absorb oil, and so you kind of want those to get a little bit of. It's one of those things where you throw a urethane ball for like 2 or 3 shots, it screams off the lane. Then once it gets some oil on the cover, then it settles down and does exactly what you want it to do. Well, you don't want reactive balls to do that.
No,
and they've had some issues here lately where some stuff is doing that, but all we've had to do is just resurface it and it's fine. So
yep.
I would say that number one, again, there's a lot of people that I've talked to that haven't noticed it because they resurface everything out of the box. Jeff Riggles always he just takes a fresh 4,000 pad to him to just knock the shine off. Some other people fully resurface them so that they know exactly where they're at and what they're getting, because any kind of cover inconsistencies or not, if you resurface it yourself, again, you know exactly where you're starting from. Because even if there's nothing wrong, sometimes, again, like I said, sometimes they'll come out of the box a little chalky, sometimes they'll come out a little shiny. And so starting where you want to start is kind of the best way to do it anyway.
Yeah, James just shared that pattern. That pattern was brutal. That's right. It was the USA Bowling Championships, the junior gold pattern. My gosh. Oh,
yeah, that's all right. I missed that one, so
I'm gonna have to leave you for a second to get my phone or my charger.
Oh, okay.
Give me 2 seconds. I'll be right back.
Wrong hand. Does Angel clean a ball with reactive scuff after every set? No, she uses the True Blue. She likes that quite a bit. Storm's True Blue cleaner. She just cleans stuff, and then we hit it with, whenever they start getting too shiny, then she'll hit them with reactive scuff again. But usually, once we do what we do, it takes a while for them to shine up to the point where they start getting, dumb, so to speak. So, yeah, she uses True Blue, and then we'll use, the cool thing about reactive scuff is if you do want to keep some surface on the ball, it's got a cleaner and it's got an abrasive in it. And so it does get it to, it doesn't hit it with a bunch of surface, but it does get it to like a 3000 grit sheen.
All right, back in business. Sorry. I just looked up and it said my computer was dying. I fully charged it all day, so I don't know why it died so fast. All right, sorry. What I miss here? Angel clean a ball with reactive scuff after every set. Oh, gotcha. Is that the only question I missed?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Between me blowing my nose.
All good. I completely understand, man. You're a trooper for even going through with it tonight, to be honest.
Yeah. Like I said, it's been rough.
The show must go on.
Yep.
Okay.
And this is a couple hours where I don't have to work on ball videos or anything else. So this is actually a much needed break.
We get to drink and talk to the people.
Yeah.
The people.
Any tips for scoring on high friction lanes? Bring low friction covers.
Yeah. There's not that's probably the best way you can answer that. So they said bring a crown jewel.
Yeah.
Hold with a crown jewel. Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I preach a cover stock formulas so much, because saying pearl, hybrid, or solid doesn't really mean much unless you're talking about the same cover formula, and then it means something. But in general, like you can have one pearl that's like the Eternity, or you can have like an RSTX2.
Yeah. Totally
different things, or like an RSTX2 versus a Black Widow Ghost or something. They're both pearl, but you can't exactly, oh yeah, they're both pearls. It's like, okay, well that's great, but they're nothing alike. So there's that.
I threw the Black Widow Ghost on Saturday with 1 shot or 2 shots. I brought it just to try it out. It's been sitting downstairs. I threw it 2 shots, walked right up to Haley and said, "Here, this is yours." She goes, "You just giving it away?" I said, "Oh, it's either that or I'm going to Jesse Bauer right here in about 5 seconds." And it was going to go get sat in the trash. So somebody else was going to get it. So I said, "Here, you go ahead and take this."
Yeah. So yeah, when you're bowling on higher friction lanes, generally you need less cover formula. So you need cleaner covers, stuff that doesn't require as much oil to get the ball down the lane.
Right. So
that's why I recommend getting into cover formulas. Or at least you don't have to get like super deep. You don't have to get as crazy as I am into it, but you can tell just looking at a certain ball reaction whether it's cleaner or not. You don't necessarily need to know the specific formula. You can watch Dylan throw in an X2 and think, okay, well that's definitely cleaner than his altered reality. And so you can figure it out. I think people are a whole lot smarter about it than they think they are. but they try to get into the numbers and the tech as a way of making it simpler or more mathematic, but bowling's not mathematic at all. Otherwise, the phase 5 and phase 4 would react exactly the same. But I think people are, if people would just, like bowling terms, we use a lot of normal terms to describe bowling stuff. And people, well, what does this mean? And it's like, well, it means exactly what the regular definition of the word. It's not like some special bowling term. It's just a regular word that we've adopted to mean a certain thing. And I think people are a lot better at reading ball reaction than they think they are. They don't need to know all the numbers and whatever else to figure out, okay, well, hey, this ball's longer and sharper than this ball. So,
yeah, when you were starting to talk about the cover stocks and how what was the cover stock formula, or what was it?
yeah,
drawing a blank. Anyways, I just wanted to look at you and say, nerd.
yeah.
Bowling for high friction, high rope whirl, the hustles roll great. Yeah, see, I've really gotten away from on higher friction stuff. Gotten away from throwing low end balls. I can't tell you the last time I threw a low end bowling ball.
Yeah,
I usually get into something like, I don't know, I can throw like a defender or something like that, just because of my rev rate. So something to see it a little sooner and stop.
Yeah. I asked others in reviews if they were experiencing the same slick crux prime-like effect, and this was interesting because the spec cover stock on the prime and the Pro Motion, it had a very low absorption rate, and so it made the cover stock really durable. The problem is those balls were impossible to film with because you just can't throw them every 30 seconds. They do kind of, because they absorb slower. Yep. They do tend to get a little bit slimy. Now that kind of helps. It kind of worked with the nature of the earlier smoother kind of urethane resin hybrid type of look, but they were impossible to film with. And I'm not sure if any of the other reviewers are going to want to, kick the hornet's nest, so to speak.
Yeah.
But when stuff burns up, it burns up first, and then as you get shots on it, like if there's too much surface on a ball, it'll just burn up and puke until you throw it for several shots, you get some lane shine on it, then it'll start to get down the lane, then it'll start to shape.
Yep.
Burning up doesn't happen backwards. The ball doesn't look fine for 6, 7, 8 shots and then start burning up. That's not the way that works. So whether or not they are paying enough attention to it, or whether or not they want the smoke, or they want to get into anything else, it's just kind of like, I don't know, it's just getting down there and not hooking. I'm a little bit more anal about it, and I'll just straight up tell you what's going on. And I'm not saying that anybody else is trying to hide or cover anything up, but they just may not want to get into it. And I don't blame them.
Okay, what else we got here? Oh, by the way, that purple reactive, I finally made that ball look good.
Yeah.
I haven't thrown it much. I had to get a bunch of that surface off there. My God, I had an ungodly amount of surface early. But that ball at gauge.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. I can literally stand on top of the gutter with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just walk it home.
Trevor thought it might work.
It works. That's for sure.
Oh, boy.
Oh,
need some more humor in the reviews again. People got mad at me for that. And then I killed Betty White. So
you did.
There's that.
And then you retired Tom Brady only for him to unretire.
Yeah.
Some clever comments as a field here, then a gas station bathroom.
Yeah.
Let's leave the Randy Peterson out of there. But the Betty White the Betty White thing was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. That had me rolling.
I did put some chuckles in my absolute versus reality check video that I put up a couple days ago. And I need to find a Kool-Aid Man mug that I can drink out of. Drink out of Kool-Aid.
Yes.
If I really like something, I'll get the Kool-Aid Man mug out and drink the Kool-Aid.
I think one could be made for you.
Yeah.
I think the wife could probably make you one.
Yep.
Yeah, buddy. I do like the Betty White one though. Yeah, the Power Rangers and all that. Yeah, I've done decent with my X1. What's a new ball that's close to that? I'm assuming they're looking on the Storm side of things. So
yeah, I don't know. I don't think we have anything right now. Let me take a look.
Saw Cosmos online for a decent price the other day and almost bought one. I just don't know if I want to pull the trigger on that though.
Yeah.
I don't think it's really needed.
Probably the closest thing to an X1 right now is going to be an Infinite, but it's not really that close because the X1 has a higher RG. It's got a 253 RG on that core, and so it gives it kind of a unique look. The X3 is not anywhere close. Again, they're the same ball on paper, but they're not anywhere remotely close.
The X1 and X3? No, not even close.
Totally different balls. Yeah, that's the Infinite physics is about the only thing that I see. They shape somewhat similarly. The Infinite is a little earlier.
Is it a little boomier down lane, maybe?
Sharper. Yeah, a little sharper, a little bit more forward.
Yeah. The Infinite looks good. It does look good. That one's been out for a little while now, hasn't it? How long's that one been around? Was it pushing a year?
Which one? The X3?
Infinite? No,
the Infinite came out in June, July, so it's 8 months.
Okay, I figured it has been a while. I didn't know if it had quite been a year yet, but I thought it had been a little while. Carry on. What else we got? Got no one?
I got no responses. Figured they didn't want to piss off Utah.
Hey, I've got no skin in the game, but I haven't thrown anything that's been doing that, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah, well, it's another thing of getting into it too. Like I put in a bunch of work trying to go back and say, okay, well, what's going on here? Because this is not reacting right. Is it burning up? Is it doing this? Is it whatever else? And you go to wipe the ball off, and then it's got kind of like this film on top of it. And if I know that if it's happening to me, it's probably going to happen to other people too. And I'm a pro shop guy. That's how I got into this in the first place. I'm not a ball review guy just trying to get people to watch my video and move on.
Yeah.
I'm trying to help people out. And I'm like, okay, well, if this is happening to me, it's going to be happening to other people. And if it happens to other people, what's the solution, or how can we fix this? And I'm sure they probably don't want to admit, hey, okay, well, maybe something's up, and this, they may or may not want to, admit that there's like something wrong or whatever. But again, if there was something wrong, a resurface wouldn't fix it. So it's kind of like there's some weird stuff going on with the box surfaces right now, but most people change the box surface, and the people that don't probably should. And if you just change the box surface, it doesn't really matter what happens at the factory, as long as the end result, the end product, reacts well. That's all anybody cares about. And so there are a lot of people that throw stuff out of the box. There are a lot of people that think, that have said, I shouldn't have to do anything. It should come ready for me to use. And it's kind of like, well, nothing comes ready for anybody to use ever. Everything's got to break in. Everything's got to have some kind of, I can remember getting a new baseball glove or like a new softball bat or something. You don't
break that bat in.
Yeah. You got to, I remember my dad putting a freaking baseball in the glove and then just buying one of them little bottles of oil and just oiling the crap out of it like every hour or something. And then you put all the rubber bands around it to kind of shape it right and kind of loosen it up and whatever else. And or the weird things that people do with softball bats to break those in.
Oh yeah.
So
it's still on topic. So baseball gloves and softball gloves, sometimes they actually put them in like steaming machines now.
Yeah.
To get them to loosen up. So it's no different than doing work on a bowling ball. Sorry, it was on topic. So
yeah, so that's the thing. So I would just say, yeah, whatever whatever the reason is, whatever the cause is for whatever it is, just if you just change the surface on the ball, then you don't have to worry about it.
I have a question for you though. Yeah. Is it happening only to shiny stuff, or is it happening to solid balls too?
It was, but now it's happening to solid stuff. The TNT kind of threw me for a loop, and that was really interesting because we didn't resurface James. But I did go on ahead and resurface mine because I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, well, number one, it was a little bit out of laziness because all the stuff I was going to compare it to, like I didn't want to. This also makes it tougher to film too if you take out a bunch of sanded stuff, chews up the pattern really quick. And so all the stuff I was going to compare it to, well, James has higher speed, and so he needs more surface on something. So I'm like, okay, we'll try it out of the box. We'll put his Axiom at 2,000. With the Supernova at 2,000, and so he can compare the sanded stuff, while I can use this as an opportunity to give a different look. So I've got an Idol Pro that's shiny. I've got an Idol Cosmos that's shiny, and so I thought, well, I'll just go on ahead and I'll just go on ahead and sand it down and then polish it, so that I can give a different look versus James. And of course, James threw 3 or 4 shots. And then it started going straight. Mine looked fine, looked great the entire time. I shot 300 with it, or not 300. I wish. Shot 700 with it in league the other night. Mine's fine, and so then we resurfaced his. His was fine. Everything else that I thought it was the Reactogloss because of the surface prep or whatever. Because it's just like 360, 500, 1,000, 2,000, 4,000 gloss, and so I'm like, they're just. The surface is just so fine and so smooth that it's not absorbing any oil. But then when it happened with the TNT at 2,000 grit, I'm like, okay, well, this is a little weird. But anyway, like I said, if you just have your shop just say, hey, I want this at, can you just sand it down and then finish it back up again? No problem. So it doesn't really matter. It is one of those things I just want to track down so that if it does happen to somebody, if they are used to getting stuff out of the box and it happens to them, then I can say, hey, you've got a solution here, instead of just saying, oh, I don't know, it's burning up or something, and we'll just move on. You just spent $200, $250, $300 on something. I don't want you to think that you had a boat anchor.
Yeah.
And I also don't really want you to worry about buying something in the first place, because obviously there's nothing wrong with the balls, because once we resurface them, they're fine.
Yep.
So I just feel like it's my kind of due diligence as a pro shop, type person to say, hey, okay, well, sure, there's something going on, but it's so easily fixable. And again, just have your shop resurface stuff out of the box. Then you don't even have to worry about it or mess with it or have any kind of anything. So,
yeah, I was just curious on the if it was just the shiny stuff or both.
Yeah, it's kind of back and forth now, but. So, yeah. But anyway, yeah, I think it's, okay. I don't think there's anything to worry about, especially with, we did this to Angels, and she likes the way it reacts anyway. And this way, whether it does have an issue or not, we don't have to worry about it. The ball's fine. She should have been 820 with it on Friday. That's something I could talk about a little bit, I guess. Angel shot 767 with her Eternity out of the box. And the first game, she went front 7, high flush 7, stone 8, strike 4-pin, whatever. Then the next game, she goes like 4-pin spare, next 3 or 4, then Greek Church, and then sheet. So she went 247, 251, could have been 279. Or 280 realistically, because she'd have had the front 10 instead of the front. Theoretically, she'd have had the front 10.
Yeah.
Instead of the front 7 and then the nonsense. And then the last game, she goes, I think 4-pin spare again. Next 7 or 8, stones another 8-pin, and then sheets it for 269. So realistically, she could have gone like 289, 251, 290. So, I mean, she could have shot 820, 830 pretty easily.
Pretty good number. What pair was that?
3 and 4.
Yuck.
Believe it or not.
Tip my cap to you on that one. That pair sucks.
Yeah. Questions.
Isn't that what we just bowled you on the other night? Was 3 and 4, or is that 1 and 2?
Yeah, no, we bowled on. You know, that's the thing because we bowled on 3 and 4 on Thursday night, and then we bowled on 3 and 4 again on Friday night.
We've been 3 and 4, 1 and 2, 5, 6, 3 and 4, 1 and 2, 15 and 16. We've just been down there the whole time, ready to get away from it.
Yeah.
Sorry, I know there's plenty more questions in there, so
Yeah, we'll get back.
keep the ball rolling.
I gotta get okay. I'll take this one off. Was the Fate slick out of the box? Some of them have gotten just a little bit. Like the Fate, it's been better with the stronger covers so far. But the Fate was a little bit, and then I didn't actually change that one. Same thing with the Phase 5. They were just got a little slick, and then I kept using them and got the cover broken in, and then they were fine. So again, I wouldn't worry about. I know that bowlers get crazy about stuff like that, and that's the other thing is I understand that. That HQ probably doesn't want it out there that there's, and they haven't said anything one way or the other, and they're probably not going to. Not from here or anybody else. This is just what people are noticing. I'm sure that they probably don't want people saying that, oh, there's issues. These balls get slick, or they, just grease up or whatever. But at the same time, it's probably a better idea to say, hey, okay, well, sure, this has happened to me. This has happened to somebody else, and so this is the solution. So instead of getting like bowlers do, or like people do really anymore, it's not just bowlers. If somebody has one bad experience somewhere, has something go wrong one time, it's like, oh God, I'm never throwing store balls again. It's like, well, you had plenty of success with them. And just because you get one that you either don't match up with or that had some kind of weird issue out of the box, there's something to fix it. So you can keep throwing the stuff. You don't have to say, well, I heard this ball does this or does that. Like the Absolute is probably one of the best balls that we put out in a long time. And yeah, I hated it for 5 or 10 solid games. And then once I got everything adjusted and got some games on it, it's fine now. I don't get to use it a whole lot because I just don't use ASIMs a whole lot to begin with.
Yeah.
But all kinds of people are shooting all kinds of numbers with it.
Are you going to take it to Wichita or Southwest? I'd suggest taking it to Southwest. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't want to be, because again, at the end of the day too, this is stuff that sure they send it to me for the reviews, but I have to use this stuff afterwards too. It's not like I just, they send it to me for the review and I film the review and then I trash the ball. This is the ball is like my compensation for the review. There's like not anything else there. And so I definitely don't want the ball to suck, because then that means that I spent all this time and all this money making this review for this thing that I can't use now. And so I have a whole lot of incentive to make it as good as possible for me, because I'm going to be the one using it.
Yep.
And so that's kind of where this is coming from. So I'm just going to track it down and give it a chance. And so everything that we've had the issue with is just a resurface, and it's fine. So there's no reason to be scared off a ball. There's no reason to be scared off a particular ball. If you see one that you like, even if you try it out of the box and it sucks out of the box, just change the surface.
Yep.
And that goes for any ball, any brand, because everybody's had something that they didn't match up with or that sucked for them out of the box. But then you either use it for a little while, or you change the surface or whatever else, and it doesn't really matter whether it just doesn't match up or whether there's actually some kind of an issue with it. So yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, is there any difference resurfacing before drilling or after drilling? Yes, there is. I like to do it before drilling because, again, just like Just like Chris said, it doesn't get in the grips. I hate resurfacing something because then the water, you resurface something and water gets in the grips, it gets in the thumb hole. And if you have tape in there, that sucks. Or if you like polish something, then you get the polished gunk in the finger holes and you have to dig all that out. So I would much rather just put the ball on the machine for a little bit, finish it up, make it all pretty before you even put holes in it, and then you're good to go and you don't have to worry about anything.
I guess it's easier to do it beforehand than, like you said, you don't have to worry about it afterwards.
So much easier.
That makes sense. I can understand that.
Yeah.
But it doesn't affect the ball at all other than that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a matter of when you want to do it. So.
Yeah. And this is exactly whether or not my Revenant was cheeks out of the box, it'll be getting resurfaced this week, but want to put games on the ball first. Yeah. People used to get something drilled and then they would go out and practice with it because you're like, oh, God, I don't want to use this in league. I don't want to ruin my league set or something. I want to go practice with the ball. I want to get to know what it does. And so now people just want the 300 game out of the box thing. So they want to drill it and then just go instantly throw it in league and shoot some monster set. And so, yeah, I don't know why people spend especially now, like $250, $300 on a ball and then give it like 2 games and give up on it. And then complain about the price of equipment. Complain about the price of equipment.
A lot of people don't realize the more and more you throw a ball, the better and better it gets.
Mm-hmm.
Break those covers in, folks. Break those covers in.
Yeah, give it a chance.
I'm sorry, but you cannot tell me a bowling ball is good or not after 2 games.
No. You Yeah, you can get an idea. Like most of the time I can throw a ball a little bit and say, yeah, this is probably not going to end up great for me. Sometimes it's more of a shape thing. Like for me, it's a shape thing. Yeah. Like if something's a little bit more forward, it's like, okay, well, even if it does get better, this is just not a shape that I like.
Yeah.
Or a shape that I'm going to use very often. And even if something sucks, but is like rounder shaping, like the Revenant, I didn't really like the Revenant for the first 5 or 10 games, but it had that rounder shape to it. And so I'm like, okay, well, if I get this thing sorted out, this is going to be great. And I use that ball a lot. The Fate, if you go back and watch my review, it really doesn't. If you go back and watch all my Fate videos, like the review, it just doesn't really do much. It's just kind of blah, blah, blah. But the more I bowl with it, the more videos it shows up in, the more it hooks. And I throw that again. I threw the Revenant for a little while when I bowled with you on Saturday. And I threw the Volt Pearl the rest of the day. Well, then I threw the Fate all day Sunday for doubles and singles. And so, yeah, I'm throwing this stuff quite a bit, and it started off not that great. And I don't want to be a typical bowler and say, oh, well, so-and-so said that this ball did this, and so I'm just not going to buy it, and end up, screwing yourself out of a chance to like something just because you want to be a bowler about it.
No, kudos to Riley. He tried to tell me how good the Iron Forge is, and I kept trying to tell him he was on something, and I decided to pull that ball back out of the bag here the last few weeks. I threw it quite a bit with you in doubles, actually.
Yeah, looked really good.
And I threw it a lot in Hayes. I didn't dawn on me that little bit of the taller pin that we put on that. I didn't give it enough of a chance. And I'm also throwing it better now than I was at that time. So it's actually doing what it should be doing. But it's a prime example of just you don't give up because you just don't know what you've got. So I'll agree with them. They'll probably say now that that's probably the best release when I was with them.
Yeah.
That ball is so good.
Yeah. I wish I could have thrown one. Don't quote me on that, but
sorry. It's so good.
Something like the Cosmos for me, there weren't any issues. It was just too early and slow. And I thought, well, and I let it lane shine a little bit, and it was just kind of blah and blah. And I'm like, gosh, this rolls so nice, but it just dies. It just hits Cosmos, like crap. Right? And I'm like, the Cosmos. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm not ever going to be able to use this, but maybe because it's so early and slow, I'll find some, and I've said this before, but it's so early and slow, maybe I'll find some sport pattern to use it on or something. And then I threw it all weekend at Swiss Trios, and then I've been using the crap out of it ever since. So it doesn't really matter at the end of the day whether there's actually some kind of weird cover thing going on, or it just sucks. And we've beaten this horse into the ground, but I want to beat it into people's heads that don't let, don't let nonsense or dumb stuff that can be fixed or changed relatively easily.
Yep.
I mean, have your shop guy put it on the machine for 5 minutes before he puts holes in it. Yeah. It's not just going ahead and get the ball. If you like the way that the Eternity looks, get an Eternity. Just adjust the surface.
Yep.
Don't worry about it.
And also, like we were just talking, please don't give up on a ball after 2 or 3 games, because I was always like, I'll never throw that again, and it's literally never leaves my bag now.
Yeah.
So never.
Everybody's got that kind of a story.
I filmed with that ball. Hated it. I didn't hate it. I liked it okay when I filmed with it. I threw it a couple of times in some tournaments, and I probably pulled it out in the wrong situations. And I said, okay, this is crap. I don't never want to throw this again. It's probably the best shiny motive ball I ever threw.
Yeah.
Because remember, I fought their shine. So the ripcord velocity was okay, but that Iron Forge was a Johnny Clark throws his a lot too. And he's like, dude, I tried to tell you that ball slept on. It really is. It's pretty good. So,
yeah. Once you get it broken in, and again, that's another thing about there's some guys that been talking to Casey Murphy, and he's like, I wouldn't know anything about factory stuff because he resurfaces everything out of the box, because he's really? Like, I have he likes getting everything to, number one, if you take everything to the same surface, like some stuff comes at 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 gloss, 4K fast, whatever else. He likes to take stuff to the same surface, period, so that he can actually get an accurate representation of where does this ball actually fit in relation to this ball, and this ball. Am I getting faked out by one ball being at 2,000, another ball being at 3,000, one at 4,000, one was shiny, whatever else? Am I actually getting a realistic look at how this ball compares to this ball? Will you do if you put them at the same surface?
Yeah.
And so if you take that's a good practice to take everything to the same surface out of the box, whether you bring it up from 3,000 or 2,000 to 4,000 or from shiny to 4,000, you figure out where it really stacks up, what you really have, and then you can figure out from there, okay, well, this is a ball that I want to run sanded, so I'm going to take it back to 2,000. Or I like this, but it's a little too early and slow, like somebody said about the Cosmos. I resurfaced it to step 2, and that removed the earliness from the ball. Yeah, it's kind of the same thing for me. I just had to get some games on it and let it shine up a little bit, and that moved the reaction where I needed to see it. Other balls are better to keep a little bit of surface on them. And so it's just a good practice. If you actually want to take bowling seriously, if you want to be a good bowler, you have to do all these things that the good bowlers do. And I can't think of a whole lot of people that, for ball reviews, I want to show stuff out of the box, because most people are going to bowl with the ball out of the box. But that's just a bad idea to begin with. And there's a lot of other things that I don't want to feed, a lot of other things that I don't want to, rumors or kind of misconceptions or whatever else that I don't want to feed into. And so I'm just going to resurface everything from now on, period, because it's the smarter thing to do, whether, weird factory stuff or not.
I keep 2,000 on my Jackal Ghost all the time. Yeah. Once I see it start, granted I can't do it obviously when I'm bowling, but once I see it start to lean shine up again pretty quick, just don't have to do too much. Just take a light 2,000 pad, keep 2,000 on it, and then I let the one of the other, because I carry 2. I don't want to carry them all with me. Obviously, I carry one pin up, one pin down, and the pin up one I do a little different on surface, but the one that's pinned down, it's always got 2,000 on it.
Yeah, because I mean, once it gets shiny, it starts getting a little long and flat.
Yes, it does. So but it is so good when it's got surface.
Yeah, that makes it nice. It picks up earlier and then makes it nice and blendy down lane. And
yep, exactly right. People just don't need to be. A lot of people are scared to alter their surfaces, though. I've heard that.
They are. That's the thing. There are a lot of people. Yeah, a lot of people are scared to touch it, but you see pros doing that all the time. All the time. They're always taking a pad to something and changing this, changing that, because it's about, You got to look at them as tools.
Yeah. Yep. And the more tournaments and stuff you're going to bowl, we're going to start bowling on pattern. Maybe not so much patterns, even like a challenge pattern. I wouldn't consider it a pattern.
Mm-hmm.
But even when you start bowling on stuff like that, you're going to have to start getting into surface changes. I mean,
Yeah, you have
got to keep pads on you. And don't be afraid to change and alter surface on balls because you'll kill yourself ball reaction wise if you don't. So, all right. Oh, you left me.
Yeah.
Where'd you run off to? Okay, you're grabbing a ball.
I figured I put the TNT up here too because it's coming out soon. My first. I haven't shot a whole lot of 700s this year, and my first set with this ball was 700. So,
my man.
Yep, and it's a
squeaky.
Yep, I took it down to 1,000 and used step 2 on it. And like somebody else said, step 2 smells really good. I don't know what it smells like, but it smells really good.
You should be going through more pads than bowling balls. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Pads get expensive though. Dang.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yep, I just bought I'll be buying a new pair or a new set of Diamond Dust pads from Russ on Thursday.
Those are just for the resurfacing machine, right?
Well, you can use them. They're kind of flat. They're easier to use. They have Velcro backing, so they're easier to use on the resurfacing machine than to do by hand. But you can use them by hand. But they're $35 a piece. So for the machine, you need 3 of them.
Okay. All right.
However, they are made using industrial diamonds, and so the set of pads I've got right now have got about 30 or 35 full resurfaces on them. With Abralon pads, you might get 2 or 3 resurfaces out of a set of 1,000 pads, maybe. With True Cuts, probably 10.
I did buy a few True Cuts, and I will say they do last longer than Abralon.
They do last quite a bit longer than Abralon. But these Diamond Dust pads, I've got 30, 35 full resurfaces on this set of pads. And it's stuff is not coming out as chalky as it used to, but the surface texture is still crazy good. And actually, I think let me pull my Nova up here.
True Cut pads are also made well for this little hand that I've got. You know, these 2 little hands. That's the one thing I liked about the Motive chamois. They're the little circle discs. It's just perfect to sit in my little tiny hands. Don't judge me. I'm like 5'4". I know. Go ahead and roast me. We all know I'm short.
So this is. I actually threw a couple shots with this, but this
what
is
that
the huh?
What is that at?
This is 1,000. This is the 1,000 Diamond Dust pad. That surface is super smooth and consistent. Wow. I really like it quite a bit.
That looks really good. Looks really good, actually.
Yeah, the problem with other pads is that they kind of cut the ball up. You see a bunch of scratches in them, but this one you take it off 1,000 grit, or once you put it on the 1,000 grit and take it off, it's just super smooth and consistent and amazing. So.
I mean, the camera is definitely better because I can definitely tell that's nice and smooth. I don't know if they can tell on the other end of things, but at least on my end. Sounds like you just threw a shot. Oh. I'm going to call it $20.
Oh.
Even though it's $19.99, but $20 for the win.
Thank you,
do we have a question or anything?
Yeah.
Okay, man, fire away. Thank you, Kiwi. Awesome.
Yeah. Appreciate it.
It's a super chat for the win. It looks like a sun-dried watermelon.
Yeah. Like I said on the I put up a video the other day. I said like I said on the video the other day, I got to pay for this therapy somehow. So.
Yeah, I'm sure Ray is going to make her appearance here before too long. So be ready for the kid appearance at some point here. She always asks if she can pop in and be YouTube famous.
Yeah. What else do I have? I need some screen time.
We trying to pop up here. What you got?
I don't know. We'll find something.
I'm trying to pull up that trauma recovery up there.
Yeah.
Put that bad boy up there. I love that. I get it's like my side of view every time I'm live on the set. So I've tried Sire Aberlon, True Cut, El Cheapo Amazons. I don't remember the hair or the sun hair lasted, but I was using the Haas a lot. No sours tonight. No, when we're not together, it's whiskey. It's whiskey, baby. My nose is starting to run a little bit. My daughter is 15 and 5'4". Thanks, Chris.
Yeah. The ugliest ball you've ever seen in your life.
It is very ugly.
Dear Lord.
I don't know. My Storm Superpower is pretty ugly.
Yeah, the Superpower is pretty ugly too. But
that was my first 300 ball, and I have it sitting here. Have I shared that with you guys on here yet? I'll go get it.
Oh, yeah. Love this ball, but it's ugly. Has great personality, though.
This Storm Superpower is such a giant turd. It's sat in cold heat. It's never cracked. It's a little dusty. But yeah, my first 300 ball youth state tournament, I shot 300, 230, 300. Or 230, 300, 230.
Yeah.
It's it's so old when it's got the old S logo, kind of like yours does.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And it still hasn't cracked this thing. Oh my God, my thumb's not getting in that.
No.
Back when I used thumb sleeves.
Yeah.
I actually used to use them. Oh yeah, I loved them. The vinyl ones, I loved them.
Yeah, this one doesn't really smell like anything anymore. Now my the X Factor Reloaded still smells like apple cinnamon Cheerios, which is amazing. I need to drill that. I kind of put that away and forgot about it, but we've got so many. I'm still trying to catch up from the last batch of stuff.
Schumacher, what do you have in the bag right now? I'm excited. I'm gonna be drilling a top speed here soon. I can't wait for that.
Yeah, James, he was practicing on Sunday, and the more he throws that top speed, the more he likes it.
Oh yeah, that doesn't shock me. I haven't heard one bad thing about it, so that says something about a bowling ball. The Absolute, I've heard a lot of good things about that. I just got to figure out what I need to add next into the bag. I'm going to buy something else. I just don't know what else. I'm trying to replenish, get rid of old stuff and put new stuff in. I've been bowling a ton here lately, so I mean, I say a ton. I mean, I basically did what we did that weekend of the Veterans Tournament. I did that like 2 weekends in a row. Then I did what I did this weekend. My hand hurts, and I did split the bottom of my thumb open yesterday and the first round of match play. Oh, and it hurts too. It's bad. Super glue for the win. Yeah, I could bowl games all day. My thumb don't hurt. That's what happens when you don't squeeze. Your thumb doesn't hurt. But right here, definitely rubbing up the edge of the thumb. It's all right.
Not so much here or here. Right here.
Right?
Just right in here.
I always and they got to do it. Here, Lloyd, this helps.
Kenny, fun fact. The Absolute, so he says the Absolute's closer to peppermint than it is to orange cream soda. So cream soda or root beer actually has spearmint in it. This is what I found out because we have an overseas performance rental, the Spin or whatever it is. It smells like root beer, but some people have smelled that. It's like, this is like mint. This is like some kind of mint or something. Root beer actually has peppermint or spearmint in it. Well, I got to pull this. Really? I got to Google this now.
Like even the drink? Or just the scent?
That's root beer is.
Which is funny because I actually hate mint. So
yeah,
you may have just ruined me for life. I may not ever have a root beer again.
Yeah. And you can Google it, and it says, why does root beer taste like wintergreen lifesavers? Wintergreen is a plant that is also used to flavor minty items like wintergreen lifesavers, but it's also used in root beer to round out the flavor.
Really? I think you just ruined me.
Most root beers have some combination of sarsaparilla, birch, vanilla, and wintergreen as the flavorings. So that's why it's got that weird kind of off minty thing to it.
See, to me, it's just never tasted like minty at all.
Yeah,
Really?
but that's the weird thing. So like the difference in some root beers and some other ones, like the really good ones, actually have a little bit of the mint in them. So if you have like the spin that has that really rich A&W Barks root beer, whatever.
I tell you what, the stuff they make it big is pretty dang good.
Yeah.
That's good root beer. My favorite root beer though has to be when I go to like Cracker Barrel. Their root beer, whatever they do with their root beer. I don't know where they get it from. I don't think it's their own root beer, but it's freaking good, man. Sorry, on topic. I'll never drink root beer.
That makes perfect sense. No pun intended.
I see what you did there.
I will never drink root beer the same again.
Because
that was tripping us out, and so I actually looked it up because somebody said it's like no, that smells like straight up like wintergreen or spearmint or something. I'm like, no, that smells like root beer, like the best root beer ever. And then they said that, and I'm like, okay, well I can kind of smell that now. And so I looked it up, and
I'm gonna have to give it the Shark Tank. For that reason, I'm out. I'm out. Anyway, sorry, were you still showing off some bowling balls here?
Yeah, for a few more minutes. I don't have anything else to drag out. I don't think. I do have.
Catch the rest of the chat up there.
Yeah, I think we're caught up in the chat. So the absolute should have been watermelon scent. Yes,
I can see that. Yeah,
they do need to make a bowl that looks like a watermelon, though. This one kind of does. It's orange and green. So
we just can call the next ball the Storm Watermelon.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Make the name of the ball the scent.
Yep.
Somebody said something about a Prodigy comparison to something. I don't remember what it was.
The Prodigy and the X1 did react very, very similarly.
The Prodigy was good.
Yeah.
Very.
Prodigy was good.
Yes.
I think that was one of my rare. Every once in a while, I'll have that happen. It hasn't happened in a while, but the 300 out of the box, I shot 300, 800, 8, 12, 13, something or whatever with the Prodigy right out of the box. So really like that one.
I've only shot 300 out of the box one time, and that was with Raw Hammer Doom.
Yeah.
Raw Hammer Doom. Yep, that was actually bought by my wife back when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
Well, she's my wife now. She wasn't my wife back then.
Oh.
She buys me a ball and I put a ring on it. I shoot 300 out of the box. I said, I'm marrying you.
Yeah. That happened with me and Angel a couple times. She bought me a ball. And I did really well with it, and so she bought me another ball, and I did really well with that. And so there for a while I was shooting honor scores with everything that she was buying me. So that worked out really well.
That's awesome.
So, I shot 300 out of the box with a purple, the Taboo Deep Purple, and then the next game was 200, and the last game was like 190 or something, and it was a freaking doorstop after that. Rolled amazing. Loved the way that it rolled. Shot 300, and then it just died. It just I got one game out of it, and it freaking died. There she is. The future star. I need to get her autograph now. So as soon as she's in the Olympics here, and
are you going to be in the Olympics? Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you doing? You just like to look at herself on the camera. Is all it is.
Here you go. Here you go. Here you go.
She's writing. She's writing autographs.
Signing autographs for the people.
Yep. Yeah.
Say hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Diva here.
Yeah, so much sass.
Diva here, yeah.
For that note, you're grounded.
Yeah.
This is going to be one that's going to be a handful as I get older and she gets older.
God, she's gonna start an Instagram account, and that's not gonna make you happy.
She already has a TikTok.
And she's gonna start driving, and that's not gonna make you happy. And
she has a TikTok that we private restrict that she can. It's only anything she posts. It's only her friends can see. So like, if you have a TikTok and you follow her, you're the only person that can see her stuff. So if
Yeah,
you
yeah.
want entertainment, follow her TikTok. It's actually hilarious. She's better with TikTok than I am.
I'm probably better at it than I am.
It's
I'm a pro at it.
yeah.
Mhm.
So if you want help, just come to me.
All right, you're out. I love you. Go. We're almost watch
Yeah.
watch the court.
I know I have to go eat for sandwich
Okay.
anyway.
Go eat your
Yeah.
din-dins. Okay.
Bye, peace out. I'm a diva here.
And now you know what I deal with. There you go. She said she bought you the High Road T too.
Yeah.
Did you hear me say the Anarchy was another one I really liked?
Yeah.
I actually
absolute-
bought a combo ball from Buddies, and they had a 2-ball pack. It was the Prodigy and the Anarchy. And I
Yeah.
bought them both for like $250. It was a great deal, and they were
Yeah.
both amazing.
Now that you say that, the Absolute is very Anarchy-ish.
Okay, I can see that. I definitely could see that out of that ball. It's just been so long since I've thrown the Anarchy,
Mhm.
but they were both really good balls, and they came out around the same time, if I remember right.
Yeah.
Luke, do you have kids?
Yes.
That's in the chat.
Yeah. Yeah. Chris said, "Enjoy the sweet and cute before the teen years." I said, "Mine's still cool, but comes with an added attitude now." Yeah, I got. Yeah, I've had the teen years and then the adult years that were awful, and now some other sucker signed up for it. So, yeah, the daughter just turned 27. She lives in Pennsylvania. She's married, and she's got a 7-year-old stepdaughter. And then stepson is 20. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Tanner just turned 20. And yeah, he's got a girlfriend, soon to be fiance, we think.
Oh.
So yeah, all the kids are out of the house.
Mine is 7 going on 17, by the way.
Yeah.
Yes, I know that. And we have a good question here when you finish that up. There's the last question was a great one there.
Yeah. When's the Eternity review coming? Hopefully tomorrow or Wednesday. We got ours a little late. And we can only film every Sunday. And so we got out to film here just on Sunday, just yesterday. And so I've got the review mostly done. And so hopefully I'll have it up tomorrow. If not tomorrow, it should be up Wednesday. So, yep.
Yeet.
Go ahead. She likes it quite a bit. It's favorable. So,
What
yeah.
old balls would you still throw today? X Factor, Depth Charge,
Yeah.
Prodigy.
Yeah.
Maybe not. If we're going to pile on that train, like we just said, Anarchy.
Yeah.
I really like the X Factor Ace. Give me the Paradigm, yes.
Yeah.
The Taboo, original Hammer Taboo.
Yep.
I'm just naming that. There's some bangers out there. I really was a fan of the Secret Agent.
Uh-huh.
The Fear Factor was also really, really good.
Yeah, that's funny because I was going to say that, not to cut you off, but I was going to say that too because I think you and I were probably the only people on the planet that actually liked the Fear Factor.
Oh God, it was so good.
It was just giant turd for everybody else, but it was amazing.
Yes. Oh, it was so good. The original Columbia 300 Beast was a monster. God, there were so many. Storm released so many bangers though on their side for, I don't know.
Trauma, Eraser Boost.
Yes, the original Hot Rod was pretty good too.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I did like the original Hot Rod. I actually put a freaking ton of games on one of those. Oh, you really got my wheels turning here. Gosh, there's one I'm thinking of, and I can't. It was red. Brad. It was one. It was Brad. Brad threw the crap out of it. I had one too, but it was a super. Okay, I gotta look this up. It was one in the super line. You know, when they did the super power and they did the super
Tour Power. Right, the red kind of pink one.
I think so. Let me look.
Tour Power. That would have been one.
I want to say you're right. I want to say that's the one. It was not the Tour Power, but the Tour Power was really good too. Storm, Super, Sonic, no. Man, I can't remember. It's gonna kill me.
Stuff.
It was old though. We're talking like I was 14 years old, 15 years old. So, it's gonna kill me. The original Fuse from Brunswick was really good.
Yeah, the Raging. Yeah, yeah. Well, the Fuse, the Raging Red Fuse. The Fired Up, maybe. Fired Up was red.
Fired Up was good. I did have one of those. No, still maybe it was a Fired Up. And then the Conspiracy. No, not Conspiracy. They make a couple of them. They came out with like a 2.0 on the Brunswick one.
My buddy. Come, buddy.
It was absolute. I think it was the absolute power. Okay, I'm looking this up here. I think it might be the.
Easy, buddy. I know, buddy. I know. It's almost time to eat, isn't it?
I'm looking it up. Sorry.
Time for me to eat. Yeah, I would be the the Taboo would definitely be one. Red Zone, pretty much when they came back out, like I had a Danger Zone Special Edition that I really liked, or like a Red Alert Special Edition. But then when they started with the Time Zone again, and then they had the Time Zone, the Red Zone, the Ultra Zone, the Blast Zone, all those raked up with all those, and then the original Taboo again is still one of my favorites of all time. Period.
Gas Mask Corp.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I love me some the Jigsaw Trap. That was another one that people hated that I really loved. But then the some of the Motive stuff, the Signature, the Silver Tribal, and the Covert Revolt.
Covert Revolt is
only
goated.
3 balls I ever needed to take anywhere. If those wouldn't work, then I was screwed.
Covert Revolt's still goated in my opinion.
Yeah.
Jared. It was Jared. Yeah, Jared's actually got his hands and been throwing original Tribal. He's been throwing one the last couple weeks.
Oh, got to pop this up for a second. Hey, Jonathan, St. Shirley. Looking good, buddy.
Oh, hi, Aunt Shirley. Love you. Wow. That's a cool appearance right there.
Yeah.
She lives in St. Joe, and I will actually be in St. Joe, Aunt Shirley, this Sunday. So.
Oh, yeah,
bowling.
for the, yeah.
Yep.
Super Bowl
I'll
double.
be in St. Joe bowling at Revolution Lanes at 9 a.m., I think is when we bowl. So come by and see me. That is my grandma's sister.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Cool.
That is a random appearance there. I love it.
Yeah. Yep, I have some family members that tune in every once in a while. They have no idea what I'm ever talking about, but
my grandma must have shared this or something.
good.
So that's awesome. Love you, Aunt Shirley. Thank you. Thoughts on the El Nino line? El Nino line was gold.
The El Nino Gold was amazing.
As a matter of fact, yeah, it was. I didn't mean that pun either, I promise.
The El Nino 2000 was my first 300 ball, and I've still got that hanging out.
Which one was it? The El Nino 2000?
The El Nino 2000.
I still am amazed at this
El Nino
superpower that I have down here that has 1 million games on it. I'm surprised it hasn't cracked. Yes, you sure did. Perfect. Love it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Andrew. YouTube famous now.
That's squeaky squeak.
Do y'all still have any of the bowling balls you named? I have my first 300 ball, which is a Storm Superpower that's really old.
Yeah, I did have. I was able to source a Taboo, Depth Charge, Supercharge, Red Zone, Trauma Recovery, El Nino 2000, Hot Wire. The next.
He's got more than I do.
Yeah, I had an X Factor at some point, but it's gone. So, anyway, 8 o'clock is upon us. That's like midnight. Angel has prepared food. Food is ready.
I'm on my way.
I must leave. The stroke of 8 is midnight for Cinderella. So, it was a good show.
Go ahead and throw our stuff up there real quick.
Yeah. We'll put our stuff up here.
Yeah, well, thank you, everybody. The shows have been getting better and better here. You guys have been really tuning in, so it's awesome. So, once again, Rosedale 10, our Haas 10 at Coolwick, will save you 10% off your entire order every time you order. Unlike some companies that actually will only save you 5% or $5 off the first time you order, we are 10% off every time you use our code.
Yep.
Facebook group, The Breakdown Pair. It's the Instagram. And we have not been as active on there lately. We did recently post a picture. I apologize. There's a lot of stuff going on. We have content coming soon. Especially when we go to Wichita. So we'll be able to get out, get to a brewery, take some pictures, and have some fun. So,
yeah, I've got to remember to, even some of the stuff that I post to my own Instagram, I could just post on the Breakdown Pair too, because it's all
in there. Let's go.
All the same.
Yep.
I might as well just plop it up there too, get that rolling.
Yep.
And if you have any,
go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just say if you have any longer questions, want to get in contact with us, behind the scenes, breakdownpair@gmail.com. Be a way to get to us.
Yep, you can get either one of us. You got a question for me, got a question for Luke. You got a cool question on something, if you got an order, whatever, we can help you out. And then once again, you had the slide posted up, getting ready to get out of here, but it was the Facebook group is the Breakdown Pair parentheses YouTube show. Come in there and hang out with us. We have a ton of memes. People make fun of me. And and Luke's Discord, just right there in the chat from James. Come hang out in Luke's Discord, and I'll let you real quick give a brief explanation on the Discord, and we'll go from there.
Yep. So
we have a free side. So
yeah, we got all kinds of stuff, but I've been informed that it's supper time, so
get out of here. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Once again, we're every other week, so 2 weeks. We'll be back at it right here, same place, same time, 6 to 8. We'll see you guys later. Have a good week. Have another beer, buddy.
Chatty chat. I think that they probably said that being shorter is advantageous.
Well, they need to teach me then. There you go. So we had to poke a little fun at him. Call you Ginger Swag.
Yeah. If you weren't bowlers, what would you have liked to have done instead? Anything else. Literally anything else.
That's a great answer.
The horse is so dead that it's on some kid's school project in a landfill already.
And there you have it. No. We'll talk in the Terrible
idea.